Every team, every topic, everywhere. This is Believe.
Welcome to another hard-hitting edition of Tackling a New Kingdom. I am your host, Tank Johnson, and today we have another jam-packed episode. We got a legendary football coach and star of the Netflix series Last Chance U, my friend and brother, Jason JB Brown. JB, what up, baby?
What's up, brother? How you doing, man? I appreciate you.
Man, I'm doing good, man. I was so mad when you walked away and from coaching football because people don't understand that sector of young men and how much and sometimes how difficult it is to coach them and ultimately be a parent. So from the outside looking in, man, I was just kind of hot about that, man.
Man, I appreciate it. And I know what you mean when you say sector for all these other folks out here that don't get it. The tough part is like when you have nothing but young brothers and you trying to coach young brothers out, people don't understand that it's 82% black played, 90 something percent white coached.
Yeah.
And you wonder why we have transfer portals at an all-time high. You wonder why there's no buy-in from kids because real recognizes real. And the bottom line is you could call a kid dumb and slow and all these words that people want to call these kids. You can't call them stupid because they'll see through you in a New York minute if you're not genuine, if you're fake. They'll see right through it, and that is what we're seeing at an all-time high because these coaches don't have relationships. They don't understand what it takes. They don't understand what their mamas go through at the house, in the hood, at the crib, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
And you see why we have an all-time high of transfers or just straight up disrespect and just genuine.
Yeah, they don't get it. They don't understand the difficulties there. But on Tackling a New Kingdom, we tackle three important buckets. We tackle something current, something real, and something controversial. And I want to know, and in tackling something current, I want to know what effect do you think this new NIL deals has on JUCO? I think we're seeing the effects from the Power 5 conferences with the collectives popping up, but what's an arms race look like in the junior college realm, and who's got the deepest pockets to create a dominant force?
Man, there is no JUCO realm. JUCO realm is imploding in front of our eyes. It's becoming irrelevant, just like high school. JUCO is about to be irrelevant here in a year or two. I'm just telling you, it's already kind of imploded. See, JUCO used to be the transfer portal. So the Division I transfer portal was you go JUCO, you get right, you act right, you buy some act right, whatever it may be, you go back to D1. Yeah. Aaron Rodgers, Cam Newton, Chad Johnson, Steve Smith. I go low myself. We can go on and on and on.
Right.
There's no more of that. You're sitting in a portal now, virtual portal, sitting there. And mind you, Tank, there's 132 D1s or whatever it is, 133. There's 6,500 kids in a portal. Do the math. Ain't no, those kids ain't going D1. They're not going to a new school. They're sitting in a portal. Instead, they could be at a JUCO. So, Answer your NIL question though. There's no JUCO that's gonna beat out even an FCS school for any money. I mean, there's just doesn't.
Well, I'm just saying within the junior college ranks, right? Let's say this junior college has more affluent boosters than this one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that exists, like in Kansas especially,
I was going to say.
Yeah, when I was at Indy, we were probably the least off. We had to paddle teams like Garden City that has money, Butler Community College has money, Hutchinson Community College. They got big money at those schools comparable, relatively speaking. So those schools with the better facilities, but I've never been beat out, Tank, for $1. I've never been beat by $1. I've never been beat for a facility. I got 26 in the league, 8 won a Super Bowl. I just had my 10th first rounder drafted this year, man. There was a million better places to go as far as that goes. And
yeah,
I ain't never going to lose on that. You know what I mean? I I had 8 NFL players play for me at Compton College. We had a dirt track and baby mamas pushing their babies across the field during the game. Man. So like,
right.
It is, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. That's why I don't get it when these cats talking about I lost a kid to so-and-so. I'm like, dog, you're at Oregon. You shouldn't lose a kid. Like you shouldn't lose a kid. I don't care. I wouldn't lose a kid to an Alabama. That's just me though. Right. And if I got equal playing parts and resources and I got Nike and all these, we're just saying Oregon, I'm just saying any school though, but just give me an Idaho polo and I'm going to get somebody I ain't supposed to get. You feel me?
Well, so, that brings me to a good point though. I want to know what a dog like you would have done in this environment. Now the cat's out of the bag, right? Like we all know that you're one of the best recruiters in football history, bar none. Do you think this money would have been a headache or it would have sweetened the deal trying to like grab these kids?
Man, I think I would have. I've been asked that. I've asked myself that, and I'm like, Tank. I'm like, see, where we're from, dog. I'm just like, dog. I don't know if I couldn't be the same as all the rest because it's easy to be average and it's very hard to be different. And I've always said I'm never gonna be average. I ain't gonna follow you to the left at the stop sign. I'm gonna make my own right hand turn and I'm gonna do my thing different. Raised by the biggest dope freeway Rick Ross. I'm like, I could have went that way, but I didn't. I chose to do this. I could have done so many things growing up in Compton and doing different shit that I've seen. It's like, it's easy to do these average things that everyone else does. Right. I don't know if I could go and get all these portal kids like everyone else is doing right now, because this is my philosophy. Like, if I'm going to change the game and I'm going to be different at, let's say I take this school over at USC. SC's been down. Lincoln Riley comes in SC and he brings in a shitload of portal kids and all this stuff's going on. I'm like, well, see, that's where I differ. Like, I'm going to create my own culture. I'm going to bring my own thing. And I don't know if I'm going to bring in a bunch of damaged good kids. That's what I call them. Like, I think you're damaged goods. There might be a few grad transfers that are a different story. But other than that, you're not good enough. If you couldn't play at Oregon, how do you think you're going to play for me at SC after I build this culture that I'm about to set and we're going to be the dogs? Like, that's just probably my ego and my confidence speaking. But at the same time, we're going in the transfer portal like it's like they're candy, man. And I'm like, dog, I don't know if I could do that now.
So you're saying that you would have took the approach of just recruiting your own kids?
Yeah,
because we all know that they look for more upperclassmen, sophomore, juniors to establish that program.
No, and listen, I've talked to my buddies like Sark and Lane Kiffin and these guys who are in it actively, and I'm not in it, and I'm not there. I've never been a D1 coach, so I get it. I also, they're like, JB, this is it. If you don't go in the portal, you will die in this business. You're going to get killed now because everyone's in the portal.
Right.
And I'm like, well, not everyone. Like, the motherfucker that's still winning ain't. Like, Alabama's still really not in there like that. And they only lose maybe one or two. Clemson really ain't. And these are the last two, Matt. These are the last two powerhouses in the last 5-6 years. Right. They're not really portal heavy because their culture's been set, their standards been set, the environment has been set. And we don't need your portal kid because we didn't recruit them in the first place. Why are we recruiting them secondly now? Like, that's what I don't understand. Right. So if you couldn't play for Alabama out of high school, what makes you think now all of a sudden you played at Vanderbilt and now you're the guy that I need? Like, I don't understand that. But I think for Alabama and Clemson, it's depth. It's more about depth and injuries. I got to go get me. Just like it's NFL free agency, Tank, without a return, dog. That's what this is. So
that's real.
I don't know. I'm not there, so it's tough to speak on it and put my foot in my mouth because I'm not at the D1 level. I just know buddies of mine that are there and people that are there. I do know this. If buddies of mine tell me they have to transfer, they have to go in the portal, I respect them and I hear them. The other end of it, I've also had big time coaches tell me, listen, dog, if this shit don't change, I'm going to go into something else and get out this business. That's how bad it is right now because with the NIL, the transfer portal, this genuine, unloyal kid that's just chasing bags now.
Man, it's bad.
It's hard to, how do you, Tank, just imagine you in the locker room and Bill Parcells or whoever's talking to you and your backup D tackle who backs you up is don't play as much as you, don't have the jersey sales that you have. He don't have the NIL deal that you got. And he's being cussed out just like everybody else. And he's looking around the locker room like, shit, I'm about to chase greener pastures, dog. I'm out because I ain't getting paid. I don't play as much. And I'm going to go chase the bag. And so it has to be at an all-time, the level of coaching has to be so hard because, as I know, that locker room's intimate. And if you don't have the buy-in from everybody, you might as well start over.
Well, okay. So to wrap up this something current segment, you think that the infusion of the money within the college ranks just causes chaos?
No, without a doubt. You know why, Tank? There's no hierarchy anymore. There's no hierarchy now.
And you don't think you could have found an advantage with your recruiting skills doing sweetening that pot? Somebody says, "Hey, JB, here's $100,000 to sweeten the pot when you go to these kids' house." You don't think that would have benefited you?
Yes, but these coaches. So you're saying me? I would have did it without the bag. The thing,
but the bag is it's here
right
now.
Right,
it's here now. You're coaching today, and they're giving you $1 million to go out and give these kids money to sweeten the deal. You don't think that would have helped you?
But that's not what's happening. What's happening is they're not giving me or Saban or Kelly or Dabo the bag. It's the outside booster that's buying the kid.
True.
So the coach ain't doing shit no more. This motherfucker ain't recruiting no more. Jimbo Fisher ain't recruiting. His boosters gave him $50 million, dog, and they were like, "Woo, woo, woo! We're at the titty bar, dog. We're throwing them out." Like it had nothing to do with Jimbo Fisher ain't getting no kid over Nick Saban. Straight up, me and him in a room with you as the parent. You're the dad of a #1 high school player in America. No money's involved. Is Jimbo getting them or is Saban?
Well, Saban's going to get them, but money is involved. That's what I'm saying. Money is involved. And you take that same living room with that dad who is upside down on his mortgage. They're about to put a lien on his house. And this other coach says, "Hey, listen, we'll take care of all of that. Plus we'll send you a little something home every year." I'm saying that's how Saban's going to lose kids to another program.
But it ain't Saban. That's my point. Those two cats aren't battling over the kid. It's the money and the boosters that are paying those guys side hustle deals. They're not even meeting Saban or Jimbo yet. They've already got the bag delivered on their porch and have committed to A&M. They haven't committed to Jimbo Fisher or decommitted from Nick Saban. They're straight taking that money, and that's where it's kind of separated the coaching aspect from chasing this bag, because these kids that are 17 years old, now we're giving kids NIL deals at 15 years old. Crazy. No, they don't even know how to drive a car yet, but we're giving them the keys. Like, that's where I find the problem's going to hit. It's going to come. You're giving Nico, a kid I coach and #1 quarterback going to Tennessee, $8 million. I grew up with his daddy. His daddy played with me in JUCO. What, dog, how much pressure you put on this kid? And if he don't perform,
man,
you are crippling this kid in the mental capacity. His mentals are done, right?
Done.
It's like, oh shit, I didn't perform. I got $8 million. The LSU quarterback just bounced. He didn't even play it down and got 8 NIL deals. And now your program doesn't even they don't even reap the benefit of giving an NIL deal because NILs are coming from these outside entities. And I think it's taking it away from the actual go-getter recruiter. So I don't know, Tank, if I could even, I still want to think I think I could still outsell you and sell ISO and Eskimo and all that shit. But at the same time, it's like you said, the money's going to talk at the end of the day. And these parents, are they really listening for what's best for their kid, or are they wanting the bag? Because if it's what's best for the kid, you come to Nick Saban, every one of them, because they get more to the NFL, they get coached up better, and they end up being more productive, more than these other cats. And I'm just, you know, that's just what it would be for me. You want to get coached up? Come here.
No, I feel you. You know, the confidence, I appreciate it. And it's just understandable. So that is tackling something current, tackling something real. You and I had a situation where I had a kid that was looking for a college who had ran afoul of the Power 5 school and allegedly said some racist shit, and it was caught on his huddle, and his dad tried to use his money and influence to jam the school up. What was the line you weren't willing to cross or bad deed to overlook to garner an extremely talented recruit? What was the line you were just like,
Touching a woman. Any domestic violence, any allocation. Now, this is the thing. I got into it with these girls on ESPN and all these people that come after me. So I had 3 black kids leave the University of Minnesota, probably one of the most heralded stories ever as far as this whole Title IX rape allegation, all this stuff. University of Minnesota had 3 kids get falsely accused by a white girl, obviously, at a party in the dorm. And if you remember this thing, but the University of Minnesota basically boycotted to play against Wazoo in a bowl game 5 years ago because they tried to charge the kids, which they never could. They finally exonerate the kids from all wrongdoing. Then they give the kids a restraining order, and now the girl goes back and gets embarrassed by her homegirls because she knows she got caught lying. They go back, she files a restraining order. They say, no, you 3 can't be near the football stadium. So they couldn't practice during the bowl week. And then all the kids, and Jerry Kill, the head coach at the time, said, all right, screw you. We won't play the bowl game then. And that's a player's coach, just like I would probably have done. And so what happened is the coach, everybody got fired at the end of the day. And those 3 kids, after learning and seeing the whole thing, usually I wouldn't even touch it, but I understand it. I'm like, oh, look, there's something to this. I've talked to the head coach himself, who vouched for him, who got fired over it. And you don't see a lot of white coaches nowadays getting fired over some young brothers. They rather have their bag and their money, right? They don't give a shit about these kids.
Self-preservation at its highest, yeah.
Oh, dog. And so when he did that, and I know Jerry and the head coach at the time, who was the D coordinator, Tracy Clays, you know, when I know both of their character, I'm like, okay, I know the deal. Something's up. And so me and my AD, a female, and me having a daughter, everybody who knows me knows I'm not taking a kid if you have any type of issue with a woman. And that's just something I taught. You know, I tell my kids when I have 200 kids report day 1, and I'm like, raise your hand if you got a mama. And they all raise their hand. I said, then I better never hear the word bitch come out your mouth. Man. And I better not, you know, shit like that. And I'm just like, because if I called your mama that, or if you, or somebody called your girl that, or your sister, you'd be ready to scrap, right? So they don't think, these young cats don't put it in perspective on when the other shoe is being worn. They don't ever do that. And they do too many. We act before we think too much right now, especially young inner city cats, man. And that's why I go around speaking to cats. I'm like, dog. And especially when we have the same inner city on inner city violence that we're seeing right now, because I don't think we get the prominent cats, the Jay-Z's and the LeBrons. And man, you talk all that talk, but you don't walk the walk, dog. I don't see you out here in Compton and in Chicago and in Detroit talking about, listen, dog, let's do something. But anyway, off topic, I'm like, it's bigger than football. Obviously, that's my top point. But like at the same time, it's like, that is the one thing I wouldn't touch. But I did the research, 88 page, me and my female AD, and we both agreed they're getting screwed. And the girl got caught on tape lying. And the daddy of one of the kids was this Detroit policeman. And so I'm like, okay, something's up here. So when I came back and brought him in,
one of the kids accused was his dad was a Detroit policeman.
Yeah.
Oh, so that means they come from a solid background.
Yes. And these 3 are big time Power 5 recruits, recruited by other big time schools, Ohio State, Michigan. They went to Minnesota. Yeah. And these were Detroit kids, by the way.
Okay.
I bring them back. And you know how perception's reality. I bring them back in, play for me for a year, graduate on time, were class act students on this campus, 3.5 and more. They only had group of 5 offers, dog, because the perception from the Power 5 school, okay, you had an accusation, not any factual deal, no charges, no criminal activity, nothing. Everything was dropped because the girl was caught lying. Now, how is that equal in opportunity? How is that equal in what the NCAA, non-caring assholes of America, how did they go around saying that shit? You see what I'm saying? They want to, in their mission statement, we're equal, we're opportunity. No, you're not.
No, you're not.
Because those kids just got fucked.
Yeah, I mean, I look at, you know, I just had Commissioner Goodell on the show. We talked about the Deshaun Watson kid, and then you're seeing the kid in Buffalo who just got, you know, Buffalo knew about the allegations way beforehand, and then when it gets out in the public, then it becomes, we're clutching our pearls, and it's tough, man. It's tough.
I saw your interview, man. I like the questions you gave him, because I just don't understand. Like, I'm glad, that's great you got him on. See, he would never come on my show. But this is the thing, though, Tank. Like, the questions you asked him were great, because I'm like, when do we put, like, so we suspended dude for betting for $1,500 for a year. We have a second and third offenders who have not only hit people, girls or whatever on tape, who still play that same year or get cut by a team and get picked up by the, ironically, Chief Hunt goes to the Browns, right? So it's crazy how all this works out. And then it's like, what are we setting? But again, you know how it is, dog. Money talks, bullshit walks. NFL is all about winning because the owners control the commissioner. No offense to Goodell, right? He needs those owners.
The truth is the truth. And
it is what it is. So it's like, well, I don't know, man. That's what my question, your question though, I wouldn't touch anything that had to do with the woman. Not only because I don't believe you don't get a second chance. When you touch a woman and you hit a woman, or you even use the R word with a woman, that horrible rape word, there's no second chance in my book for you. Like, that's just me.
Okay.
But everybody else, in my opinion, so to answer your question, I graded them out, dog. So if you were caught with weed, that's an A for me. I'm gonna grade you out, bringing you in. You're an A. Motherfucker got credit card fraud or some crazy shit, B minus, C. You know what I'm saying? I can fix that. We made a mistake.
Right.
If you hit a woman or anything with a woman, you're F. You're not even on the board. I don't even bring you in. But bad grades, that's a B or an A, because I can fix that. I can get you back right. Somebody whispered sweet nothings to your ass instead of told you the real. Right. I'll get your ass right. You know what I mean? And so that's how I graded them out. And then that's how I bring those big time transfers in. Now, if you had a big time allegation like we just discussed and it was true and all that, then there's just no going back. I'm not going to bring you in. I don't care how good you are.
No, I mean, listen, we're seeing the extent of what coaches will do. And, you as one of those high level recruiters, I just wanted to know kind of what your threshold was, with knowing that you had such a prolific recruiting record. Was there ever a talented kid, sometimes troubled, one or two that got away from you in that you're just like, damn, you just still can't believe this kid got away? Does that kid exist in the world of JB?
Now, you mean, let me clarify it. Got away from me, meaning he didn't make it through my program and I cut him, or he didn't make it, or got away that in the recruiting battle, the war ground of recruiting, you thought you had him, and then signing day you was like, what the fuck? Never lost a kid, dog. I don't know if I could tell you I did. I'm not even lying. I'm be honest with you. Like, I'm just gonna be honest. Like, I'm not even lying. And I know everybody's gonna be like, oh hell no. I'm gonna be honest. I can't sit here and tell you, because look, dog, I got 26 in the league. I just had 9 kids from that show just got drafted this past season, dog. So like, just imagine that. Now, this is the thing.
They rebuffed your Jedi mind tricks. They did not fall for the JB Jedi mind tricks.
Yeah, like I could see if those 9 were opportunities and they went to other schools, and I'm watching them on Sundays right now, but I'm the one tweeting about Calvin Jackson scoring the winning touchdown last night for the Jets again.
Right.
My motherfucking kid.
Right.
I mean, Jermaine Johnson coming off the edge as a first rounder for the Jets. Like, that's my kid. He could have went to Iowa Western, Garden City, Hutch. Dog, I could tell you so many damn stories. Like, these motherfuckers were on recruiting trips at those other schools, dog, and I went and got them motherfuckers and came to my school. So I got 2 recruiting visits out of 1.
Well, tell us one. Tell us one.
Oh, man. I'm not doing it no more, so fuck them. Yeah, dog, like Jermaine Johnson, for instance, he was on a recruiting visit at Garden City, and, you know, I knew I had him at the point where I was like, and it wasn't about, I'm not trying to out dick size my opponent, right? I'm sitting there trying to be loyal. Like, listen, dog, I don't care what they have and all that shit. It's about where you're going and where you come from. And I had a relationship, and it wasn't just with the kid. I had the relationship with his mother, more importantly. And that's the problem with these young cats. They don't have a fucking clue how to recruit the real kids. Because the real kids, as you know, Tank, you're not just saying, "Oh, I like your uniforms and you had some broads on campus for me at my visit." They don't care. They looking through that shit. They want to know some more meaty information.
Yeah.
So, shit, I had Jermaine scooped up, dog, on his visit at Garden City about 6 hours away and brought him onto my damn campus for the weekend instead of staying on his own campus. So he was like, "I'm sick, coach," shit. And he told their staff, "I'm sick," and I got that motherfucker.
Got him. That's how you bag them. It's a ruthless world, man, over there in that recruiting zone.
Man, it's and you know, the cool part is they all want to talk shit. Like, I've never bought a kid a car, a steak dinner, anything illegally. If I could buy you through the school's meaning I could take you on a dinner, I could take you here or there. That's what happened. I've never, ever went out of my way to say, all right, we got to buy this kid.
And that was enough. What you could give them was always enough.
Always enough, dog, because I think they knew that they rather have a loyal, real shooter in the end of the day than a fluffy bullshitter that tells them, "I'm going to pay your mama's rent tomorrow."
Right.
Because if they're real, they understand that rent, that one-time payment is going to happen one damn time. They're not going to pay your mama rent forever because they're going to bullshit you. Because
there's going to be another kid they're going to say that too.
Yeah, and they can't there's nobody with that type of long paper. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, that's just what it is. There's just so many of those stories though. But you know, I've scooped cats from the airport. They're on a visit to someone else. We scooped their ass up. They never made it to that visit that they were intended to go. Like, we've done those things, you know what I'm saying? But you know, hey, it's recruiting wars, man.
Finally, in this tackling something real section, and this kind of just ties into everything. You know, why has second chances been so important to you? You know, and just, you know, because I'm a product of second chances. You know, a lot of people are product of second chances, but that seemed to be a theme of yours. Why was that so important, JB?
Man, because, you know, being a product of my environment, right? Being raised how I was and living in a damn car when I was young and being raised by who I was raised by and different things. I think that these cats in particular, inner city youth, I'm be honest, I've never really affected a lot of white kids. First of all, I've had a few white quarterbacks that have made it to the league. I've had a couple big time O linemen, couple guys like here and there, but for the majority, it is a stereotype, but it's not. Like, the white kid I've never had besides Kerry Buckmaster, who's featured on that show, coming from rural Nevada, who had nothing. This cat was a brother, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's a stereotype. The white kid was set for the most part. He came, both parents dropped him off. They had fucking microwaves and shit. You know, my kids that come with one fucking t-shirt full of shit over his shoulders. Who makes it? That's who makes it for me.
Yes.
So it's not a knock on any race, gender, creed, or anything. It's just the facts that what I've done and where I come from, I cater to trying to help cats that I know what the struggle was like. And so I think it's a cat like me that's willing to go in there and say, okay, I know what it is. I'm willing to help you get this, this, and this. But you fuck me one time, you're done.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, you got to still instill some nuts and guts and let these kids know too, man, there is a right and a left. There is a right and a wrong. And I don't care about how hard you think you have it. Somebody's had it harder, and myself included, and I didn't go left. I made a damn right. I dropped my nuts and I said, I'm going to do what's best for me. And I'm not going to follow and be a follower. I'm going to lead and be a leader. And I don't care what anything else. Too many followers now, man. And too many adults, grown folks are allowing it instead of coaching it.
Man.
And that's the problem, dog. That's the problem. We got too many parents with scabs on their knees because they're kissing ass. Too many coaches with scabs on their knees because they're kissing ass, because they don't want the kid to transfer to another high school. They don't want the kid to transfer here. Same as college. And this is the first time, Tank, and you can probably relate to this, that I'm seeing an upward trend instead of a downward trend. So what I mean is Tank Johnson was the big time. He was with the Cowboys. I used to go watch you practice in Oxnard, right? I was coaching JUCO at the time. And I was like, okay, all these cats want to be Tank Johnson at the youth level, at the high school level, at the JUCO level, at the college level. They're looking up to Tank Johnson, who's in the NFL with the Bears or the Cowboys or wherever you work. Now, dog, high school kids are transferring at an all-time rate. It's trending to college transferring. And now college is trending to where we got dudes in the NBA, KD, Kyrie, NFL, your boy that just wanted to demand a trade for the Bears. We're trying to opt out of contracts. We still got 4 or 5 years left on a contract. We don't want to play no more. We're saying, nah, fuck that. I'm entering the portal, even at the NFL level.
Right.
So it's trending this way for the first time. Usually everyone did what the NFL did. If T.O. wanted to act a fool, we had young kids at practice. We were coaching, doing what he did on the NFL practice field.
Yeah.
Drop the ball like Brandon Marshall that year when he was just dropping the ball on purpose.
Right.
I had a kid at practice that same next day doing that shit. I almost choked the fuck out that motherfucker. I was like, go ahead, motherfucker, go ahead. And
you can't emulate bullshit. You can't emulate bullshit. Yeah.
But now, dog, we got cats doing because it's starting at the high school level. And these high school kids that started transferring 4, 5, 6 years ago are now these cats in the NFL and NBA. Straight up.
I call it the AAU generation.
It is.
It's all
7-on-7.
7-on-7 AAU, exactly. So it's all the same shit. And I sent out a message on my Instagram and I said, this might be an unpopular preseason thought, but these guys wearing these chains and necklaces on the sideline, it looks fucking ridiculous. And look, I get it. We have a little peekaboo, it shows, oh, my bad, it slipped out. Oh, I'm representing, cool. But when you've got 6 chains on and a fucking jersey, I'm just like, we get it, you jiggy, but it just speaks to the mindset. It's crazy.
Tank, they got these now, dog. These are in their fucking pants.
Oh, I know.
I mean, baseball, the cat just had his phone slid out of his pocket. And then we got dudes live. We got dudes on IG Live in the USFL fucking filming a tackle.
During the game.
During the game. So,
oh my God.
We're in the like and retweet world. We want likes and retweets over grit and grind. There's no such thing as that no more. We don't know what blood, sweat, and tears are anymore. It's unfortunate, dog. The social media world, everything has just become it's really a slap in the face of the actual game as intended to play. Like, it's just everything, dog. It's just bad. It's a bad look. And I think I don't ever blame kids, dog. I just stay away from blaming kids. It's the adults that allowed this. I mean, I just can't.
Well,
I can't fathom
Marcus Spears is my show that comes out today. He was I believe the coach name is Frank Martin. He's the one that coached South Carolina.
I'm gonna have him on my show.
Yeah. And he said that the kids haven't changed, the parents have.
No doubt.
And I feel that's the realest comment that I've heard in a long time. But
yeah, I've been talking to Frank for a while, man. We kind of think the same. He's a great dude. That's the thing, man. We've been saying this for some years now. I'm like, dude, you ain't changed. The kids ain't changed. You know the definition of a coach, Tank? It's to get you where you could not get yourself. That's the definition.
And I've had some good ones. Randy Hart. Oof.
Yeah. These coaches now could not even tell you what the definition is because they're so worried about keeping you on their team.
Keeping you happy.
What does that do, though, Tank? It allows you to miss practice. It allows you to miss class. It allows you to be late because now I'm sucking this dude's dick, no offense, to keep him, then I'm allowing him to do whatever. And guess what happens? Usually your team suffers because everybody else sees that shit and is like, well, I'm here every day on time and I'm in class and I got a 3.0 and you're catering to this dude. And you know what happens, Tank? He still fucks you and leaves. He still leaves. And now you lost every bit of integrity you had as a coach.
And now your culture is tainted and it's tough to come back from you. But okay. So that was one of the realest segments that's I've had on my show. So tackling something real, that was real, and I appreciate that. So now we'll get to the fun part and tackling something controversial, slightly uncomfortable. I will ask you up front. Is JB interested in coaching again at any level?
Man, it's funny. I just got the phone with somebody that just called me out of nowhere. That's interesting. It's a little intriguing. I got to see if it's real or not. But I don't know, man. I don't think I could coach high school. Not in a traditional sense. It would have to be like a college prep type, an IMG or something that's not sanctioned. Only for the reason. I only say that because cancel culture and all these political plays that people, are so quick to do now, without ever looking into the truth. They just so quick to cut you off and say, oh, you said this, you're done. Well,
right.
I don't know if I can do that. College-wise, as JUCO's imploding, like we just discussed, I don't know if I could do that and deal with these so-called presidents who have PhDs who are so much smarter than everybody else in the world, but yet hire the same old motherfucker over and over and over and expect a different result. It's crazy.
Yeah, right.
And then I think if I did, it would have to be like at a pro level, either obviously the NFL or USFL, XFL. If I did, I don't yearn for it right now. I'm not burning inside. I do have a confession. I've been watching Hard Knocks and I like the staff that's been assembled, right? Like Deuce and
the Lions, yeah.
Aaron Glenn, all those OG cats that actually played too. Mark Brunell. I mean, he's put together a staff that is pretty hard to assemble in Detroit, in my opinion.
I like them, but I'm so afraid for them because I feel like, go ahead. What are you going to say?
Dog, I've been saying the same shit you about to say. Like, homie, you cannot be the guy walking around, tough guy in the NFL, and then cry the next day. And then the NFL, you could say it. You see through it, dog. You make money now. You have to be bought in totally. And I get the staff, they bought into that staff and all that, but I'm just scared that, dog, at the end of the day, you're going to look through them after they lose 2 or 3 games and they're going to be like, man, this is just another hoorah, hoopla, same old shit. Well, and it's going to be tough.
My thing is this, man, like, having been coached by a guy like Lovie Smith, I've had coaches that, yell and the players see through that. I've had a coach who didn't raise his voice, but had extreme command of his team. And so when I look at all that yelling and that rah, 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 I just see them, like you said, fatiguing after 2 or 3 losses and motherfuckers just being like, man,
I'm tired of hearing that shit.
Keep that shit, bro. So
because you're not college no more. You're not in high school. Like, you don't have a scholarship over my head. I make more money than you.
I felt so bad when he was doing them up downs. I was like, why the fuck are you doing up down? JB, would you have done 40 up downs with them boys?
No, I would have. If I fucked up and said I fucked up, I would have ran with them like I did on my show, right?
You did.
I ain't doing up downs though. I do one.
I do one.
I'm not doing that shit because, dog, at the end of the day, like you said, like I said it last year, man, I'm like, you can't be this big buff former player. I get it. He looks cool and seems cool, but then you can't cry in front of the team the very next day. It comes off as, all right, dog, we're all grown men. I don't need to see you crying. You know how it is, dog. Like,
yeah.
I'd rather tell you how it is. Fuck crying. We're going to cry if we win that shit, Dickford Mill style, maybe.
Right.
He has a reputation. This cat, Dan's just building his and trying to create one, which I respect. I like it, the guy. I think he sounds like a good dude. And I love the staff hire. Like, I love the hires. But again, you know, at what point is like one of these motherfuckers going to go off on Staley or on Deuce, I mean, or you know, it is Glenn. I don't know. We'll see.
So, one of the things I want to know is that, you know, overall, with your way of coaching, your attitude toward opponents, do you think that you've made more friends or enemies in the coaching landscape?
Man, you know, this is what I tell young coaches. I tell a lot of people. So I'd have staff meetings every day, and I'd have coaches be like, you know, these young coaches want to impress the head coach, trying to impress me. Oh, coach, I know him. I know him.
Right.
I go, really? I go, I don't know him. He goes, you don't know him, coach? You don't know Nick Saban? I go, no. But they fucking know me.
Right.
They know me, motherfucker. See, that's the thing. They don't know you. You know them, and you know everybody else because we all know them.
What my boy ESTG say, I can't vouch for them, but they could vouch for me.
They know me because you know why? They need me. I don't need them.
Right.
And that's what these young coaches don't understand. Like so for having said that and answer your question, you know, when cats came in my office and they didn't act accordingly, meaning I didn't know my kid was offered prior to the kid. If I didn't know that you were headed to my office prior to being there, certain protocols that I just think are part of this business and professional
customary of the business.
Yeah.
For sure.
I didn't let you in my office, or I booted your ass out. Or if you try to go get a grade sneaky behind my back shit, that's why I didn't let my academic people hand out any grades at all on any of these kids. And I can get I could have a whole show about that alone. It's crazy how bad it is, especially with inner city black kids that you're coaching, and cats get a grade on a kid who has a D, let's say in early January, and these kids get these coaches get these grades. That's why I tell coaches, don't ever give your kids grades out to these 4-year schools until it's time to, because kids can fix shit. You can fix shit for them. You can help them. You can get them going. Once that coach has that grade and he goes to the school up the street at their practice, and those coaches are there and they say, hey man, how's Johnny's grades? Oh man, he's fucked. He's no way. That kid just got blackballed by every D1 in America without you ever knowing it, because you gave out grades on that kid.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll fix them motherfuckers, and in 3 months he'll have an A. And that's why you don't give those transcripts out. And those cats would be trying to go behind my back and get them. And I'm like, so I didn't allow it. So I kicked many big time coaches out of my office. Kingsbury, all these motherfuckers. So there are a lot of shady cats in this business that only look out for themselves.
For sure.
And you know how it is. And it comes down to it's a meat market, Tank. You know it better than me. And unfortunately, the kids are the pieces of meat in the market. And
but I'm saying though, it's like when you look at even trying to get back into the coaching realm, coaches rely on the relationships to move around. You kind of seem like a lone wolf in a sense, you know what I'm saying? But are there any are there relationships that you would depend on to land a job?
No, because Pete Carroll told me a long time ago, man, you probably won't coach D1. You know why, JB? And I'm giving you some free game for your fans base, because nobody else I've ever told this to. They said, because they all need you. You have the best players in America every year. You have the academic side locked up. You get your kids graduated at an all-time fast, accelerated rate. They can get to the 4-year school in January for winter conditioning, spring ball, be there the whole time. Most JUCO coaches, their kids ain't getting out till late summer or after a redshirt year. My kids are getting out in 18 months like clockwork. Boom, 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 boom.
Boom, and, factory.
And Tank, if I left my seat and I joined their seat, where do they get their players? Where do they get their grades? Where do they get their hookup classes they need to get their best player eligible at Alabama or at USC or a fucking one that I've done for so long that nobody knows about, right?
Right. Man.
So when that happens, man, you know, it's like, all right, well,
boy, you can tell you from the hood, boy. You love you hold firm with your position. I love that shit, JB.
You know why though, Tank? Because it's like, dog, fuck. When I knew that, I'm like, all right, fuck y'all motherfuckers. Then now I'm charging though, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Now I'm charging your asses. You want this? You need a math class for your star running back?
Yeah.
Okay, then let's holler. Because now I know you're never going to hire me because number one, you're inferior to me. So you're scared that eventually they know that the kids will gravitate to me. I will bring in all the best kids. And guess what happens? You know this business. You're a 2-year hire anyway, waiting to happen. Yeah. You're a 2-year fire away from replacing you. And guess what they usually replace you with? The cat that has the locker room's blood type or temperament or heartbeat, right?
Yeah.
I've always been that guy, contrary to belief, what Twitter says. The motherfucker that don't know me, oh, JB's an asshole. Hey, Tank, please show me any of my players that have blasted me on Twitter and said I'm an asshole.
Let me tell you something about this Twitter. I don't really mess with Twitter. And because I have a show, I started to mess with it, dog. Oh. I was on there for maybe 30 minutes the other day, and I was like frustrated. I was like, these people just talk crazy all day.
That's it.
Tank, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
No, I made a blanket statement. Hawaii took a fucking inside zone play or a return to kick or something, 55 yards on Vanderbilt. And they went up like 10-0. My tweet was, I did a video with it, and I'm like, for everybody that says the SEC is so top to bottom heavy dominant is full of shit. I said you have 3 teams every year. Those teams, obviously, one of them always wins a natty, of course. Mm-hmm. But from top to bottom, you're not that good. Vanderbilt should not be in the SEC.
Right.
And if Hawaii takes a house 50 yards on you with a Polynesian kid, you do not belong in the SEC. No offense. No offense to Poly. I love my Polys, but let's be honest, most Polys are big linemen, O-line, D-line guys, right?
Right.
I'm like, so that's all I said. I didn't say Hawaii was going to win the game. I didn't say Hawaii was better than Vanderbilt. I didn't say any of that. I just said Vanderbilt in the SEC bottom class is not that good. Everybody come out. Oh, that tweet went well, huh, coach? Because Vanderbilt came back and beat them like 63-10, right?
Right.
I said, I didn't say Vanderbilt was going to lose. I said they're not very good, homie. I said you lost. Good. Yay, you beat Hawaii. Like, shut the fuck up. That's what Twitter is. That's what Twitter is.
Twitter's crazy. I can't get with it, man. I'm glad that I have a little distance.
Dog, you're better off.
All right. We're going to get you out of here on something lighthearted. And I want to know, what was your favorite year at Independence filming Last Chance U and why? Because I've been on Hard Knocks twice with the Cowboys and the Bengals, so I can attest to what it was like having cameras around for training camp all day and night, but all year long, yikes, I could only imagine. So what was your favorite time doing that shit?
Tank, it ain't even all year long. It's fucking 3 years, and they're at me in my car at my house cooking. They're at 18 hours a day, and I'm like, and I didn't get paid $1. Shit, dog, you don't even know, bro. Anyway,
wow.
Let me ask you a question with a question. Can I talk to you? Can I say that my favorite year? Because you said being filmed on the show, my favorite, and I just want to let you, and I'll answer that question, but I'm gonna tell you the real. My favorite year at Independence was the first year there when they haven't won in 30 years. We come in there, we go 6-4 year one and beat teams they've never beat in 30 years. With a nitty gritty culture setting culture that I put in place that year. We go 6-4 as building a program that they've never had. They've never seen these wins. We packed the crowd out. People bought in. That was the funnest year at Independence.
Okay. Now,
having said that, the next year we won it all and all that, but that was the first year of the show. It just got worse and worse and worse because I didn't care about the camera. I was worried about the mic. I knew the mic was going to fuck me, not the camera. But the thing is, I wouldn't change today. I wouldn't go back and change shit. I don't apologize for shit I do, because we are what we do, not what we say we do. And I don't think people understand that. I think people always want to accept people's apologies. You got these motherfuckers out here who are straight criminals, and they apologize. And on Twitter, you see, oh, they deserve it. You deserve it. Yeah, you don't deserve shit, motherfucker. You're a pedophile. You deserve to be castrated someplace. Like, that's what I don't get. And when I don't apologize, people go in on me like I'm the criminal, right? I'm like, no, I don't apologize for what? For getting 101 young black males Division I scholarships and graduating 101 kids with the highest GPA of all JUCO, never having a kid thrown in jail or get kicked out of a 4-year school when they leave me. I'm going to apologize for that? Right. No, see, that's what you cancel culture and these haters out here want you to do, because they want you to fit into their, realm.
People don't want to know how sausage is made. They just know it tastes good.
Yeah, you're right.
And when you get these kids from these impoverished backgrounds who need that tough love, these people, they don't see that. Listen, man, I had one of the greatest coaches of all time. He refused to let me give up on myself.
Right.
On days where I fake threatened to go home.
Right.
On the days where I, wanted to cash it all in, he would not let me give up on myself. And guess what? Some days it wasn't pretty.
Right.
Some days he had to hold, hey man, I'm going to tell these NFL coaches that you've got a shitty attitude. There's Jedi mind tricks you got to play, and people don't get a chance to see him. I commend you, JB. You're one of my all-time favorites. I don't get into the weeds of the BS, but brother, you are needed in the landscape of sports. And how can people support you, find you, and get in tune to what JB's got going on?
Man, I relaunched a show on YouTube that's getting it's growing. The Coach JB show. I got a co-host named Sarah Blake, who's a Tennessee Vol. She's a model, actually. She knows sports. She's on there with me, co-host. We got great people on. Brian Urlacher's on today. I've had big time guests, we do a real show. And it's a all out, no bullshit show. And then CoachJBStore.com. You can buy my whiskey, my book, posters, gear, merch. I got it all on Coach JB Store.
You got cigars?
Cigars will be out in about 2 weeks. Cubans too, legit.
Ooh.
Yeah, I get you some. So yeah, you cool with Travis and them, right? Travis Johnson and them?
Yeah.
So yeah, him, and I had Walter Jones on the other day on my show. We're all cool. Roy Williams, I had him on. We're all cigar guys. So,
Okay.
So I gotta get you some. Yeah, we gotta get you some. Man, I'll leave your show with this though, as you just ended the show with that, man. The problem is people don't get, the mamas of these kids, mostly single mothers, they tell these kids worse shit than I ever did, right?
Oh my goodness.
And these motherfuckers out here want to talk shit about me. No, their mamas cuss them out way worse than we do, and they are fine with it. Trust me. Don't keep feeling sorry for cats. Let's keep building their tough skin and giving them some tough skin. And that's why Hate Me Now, Love Me Later, the book I made, ended up being a bestseller, because hate me now, man, but love me at the end when you're a first rounder, when you're making money, when you got your degree. That's the most proud thing I am, dog. I can go to sleep at night knowing my kids graduate and don't go to jail. That's it. I don't give a shit what you say about me. That's all I care about. So it is what it is, man. But it's always a pleasure catching up, and I love what you're doing with this show, man. I'm gonna tell everybody to support your show on my shit today, and every day I'll put you up, man. And then I got to get you out on my show one day.
No doubt. Well, JB, you came, you saw, you tackled. We appreciate you coming, and look forward to seeing what you got going, brother JB.
Appreciate you.
Thank you for watching Believe. You can find more great content at Believe.com. That's BLEAV.com. Do you believe?